Death walks among us. An old man sits on his porch, rocking on his chair, a glazed look over his eyes, and sees a shadowy figure coming closer and closer to him. Too old and too tired to try to run from it, the old man stands up, walks into his home, and lies on his couch. The figure doesn't even look at the old man, but passes right by him. There is no one else in the house but me, he thought to himself. The cloaked figure floating towards the basement way, the old man decided to follow. Why in Sam hell am I following death? He thought to himself. It felt as if he was ignoring me. The dark cloaked figure was just that. Death himself. You can almost see his bony fingers protruding through his cloth of his sleeve. The smell was excruciating, like burning sulfur and blood. The old man couldn't see his face because of the hood hanging down so low. The old man asked again, "If not for me, then why are you here?" Death turned, waving his hand back and forth, almost warning the old man to come no closer. The old man takes a few steps back. Just then a sound of broken glass. Death turned. I could see just a little of his face, burnt flesh and skeletal. In a deep, gargling voice, he tells me to leave now. One soul isn't worth the price of 5. We will have our time, but it's not today. The old man took himself upstairs as quick as he could through the kitchen, grabbed his keys and out the front door to his truck, and slowly drove down the street. After just getting about 1 block away, a large explosion, he looked in his rear view and saw it was his home. The old man started to think to himself, why would death spare me? The old man drove around a little and pulled back into what was once his home, climbed out of his truck and looked at the damage done. Police, fire engines, everything was already at the scene. A police officer walked up to him. "Sir, sorry you can't park here," the officer said. The old man exclaims, "But I live here. This was my home." Police officer asked, "Do you have any idea what happened?" The old man scratches his head, tells him, "I have no clue." There was no way that the police would believe that death told him to leave. They would think he was nuts. Then the officer goes off to explain, "It looks like 5 individuals broke into your home, but they messed around with the furnace the wrong way, trying to steal copper piping, and the gas line reached the fire pilot and exploded." The old man again scratches his head, wondering, did death know that this was going to happen? Well, of course he would. He's death himself. "But now I don't have a home." The police officer then explains to the old man, "Was your home insured by any chance?" The old man says, "Yes, it was, but the policy was inside the house." Officer tells him, "That's not a big deal as long as you know which insurance company you're with and you have your driver's license, you would get a payout. But it looks as if these would-be robbers will not be going anywhere anytime soon, except for straight to hell." Only if the officer knew. Now we fast forward just a little. The old man sits in his living room of his trailer home as he's greeted by a visitor, once again death. This time the old man could see his face, empty eye sockets, the distinct smell of blood and sulfur. He looked as if a man had walked through a fire and survived only pieces of flesh hanging from his face. The old man looks up to him. "Is it finally my turn?" Death with his gargling voice tells the old man, "No, but as for your reward for keeping silent all these years, you've been granted life for a bit longer." Then he turned and left. But I know when somebody's going to die around me because for some reason death visits me.